Okay, this is sort of review and training to help you understand potential questions that might come on the midterm. Chords. So obviously you should be able to see a fretboard diagram. Say you saw this right here, and you should be able to say, aha, I know that that's D minor, right? And you could even draw it or write the fingerings in. That's pretty standard. It's what we've been doing in the books, the packet. And in truth, pretty much anything that you've done in the packet worksheets is fair game, and you should just, be doing that, looking them over, reviewing them. I'll give you a new kind of chord-related question. It's testing your ability to read the fretboard and also spell triads. And this might seem a little scary at first, but it's really within your wheelhouse to do. Here are two chords that you've never learned to play, at least not in this class. You have to tell me what they are. So how do we do that? We have to figure out what each note is that's being played here, and then we have to figure out, given those notes, what what chord is being spelled here, okay? So let's try this one right here, okay? We know that this note right here on open string is G. I think I'm gonna switch pens so you can see this better. This note right here, open string, is a G, okay? This is a note that we haven't really played. You know that a D is right there, so it could be a D sharp, but D sharp could also be called E flat, yes? Because we could go E flat or D sharp, just like you could on a piano, right? Where you could say something like D sharp, E flat, right? So we have to think both ways about that one. And you know this note, we played it a lot, it's also a G. And this note is one of the very first notes you learn to play as well. It's a C. All right, so we've successfully figured out what the notes are. Now we have to figure out what kind of chord this would be. And so here's your choices: the G chord, a D chord, an E chord, or a C chord, because G's again there. G chords are G, B, D. That is not a match. It will not work, okay? How about a D chord? D chords are D, F, A. That's not going to work either. How about an E chord? E chords are E, G, B. That's close, but we got an E and G's, but we don't have a B. And then finally C chords. C chords are C, E, G's, and that works. So I think we have to interpret this as an E flat, not a D sharp, because there is no chord that we know about that does that yet, right? Okay, so we figured out it's a C chord, and it's an E flat, and now you have to think backwards. Well, C, E, G is C major, right? And with the flat, you have lowered the third, so now that's minor. So the answer is, this is a C minor chord, which you're going to learn to play in the second half of the term, okay? Let's try this other one. It's a little trickier because, well, it's got notes all over the place, and it's got a bunch of ones that we're not used to playing, like right there and there, so they could be sharp or flats, right? So hopefully you know this note right here. This is a G, this is an A, and this is that ugly fourth string, fourth finger B right there. Yes? Okay. This one we just did. It's either D sharp, right? D sharp, or E flat, right? Okay. This guy right here, well, it could be an F sharp, because there's my F, so it'd be up from there, F sharp, but it could also be a G flat, right? G flat. All right. And this guy right here, that's definitely a B right there. Well, let's try this out. I mean, could these be C flats? I guess, but we don't usually look at them like that. So let's just try this out. Start here. B chords have B, D's, and F's. Does that work? This could be a D, that could be an F. That works. It's probably a B chord. Could it be a D chord? D, F, A? Almost, but no other A. Could it be an E chord? E, G, B? Maybe. Right? We have to look at that. And then could it be an F chord? Not even close. F, A, C, right? G, B, D? No. Okay, so we've tried out all our possibilities. All right, so let's put these sharps and flats on here. There's a sharp there and a sharp there. There's a flat there and a flat there. Okay, so if we had, let's just try this guy first. If we had E, G, B, right, that would be E minor. And if we flatted everything, it would still be E flat minor. And then if we raise the fifth, that doesn't work, right? Because E minor, you raise a third to make it major, or you lower the fifth to make it diminished. You don't raise the fifth. So this is not going to work. This one, however, works really well. B, D, F is diminished, right? But if we raise the fifth to B, D, F sharp, that's going to be minor. And now this is B minor. If we raise the third, it becomes B major. So the answer is B major chord right there. You should be able to start looking at this kind of like we look at a keyboard, right? Okay. Let's try another, but one that's similar. But instead of chords, it's asking us to look at this and figure out what kind of scale we're using. So we just go through and we just name all these notes. This is like a hypothetical situation. Somebody played these notes for you and said, help me write this down, and you've got to figure out what notes to do, and actually this makes a scale. So we want to know what the notes are and we want to make a scale. So we just go through and start identifying the notes. And if we get one that's a sharp or a flat, we have to consider it both ways, just like we did for that keyboard scale recognition pink word sheet that we did a while back, right? So this is an open A, so this is a B. First note's a B. This is an open G, so this is an A right there. This is a G. That's a D, right? You should know these. This is an E. That is, well, if it's down from here, right, going down, then that's a D flat, right? But it could also be starting from here and going up and become a C sharp. I think I've made a mistake here. Let's move this note. I want it to be that one right there instead, okay? So this here is an F, so it could be an F sharp, but it could also be a G flat, right? It could be a flatted G. All right, so let's think about this. You could just stare at it for a while and maybe come up with the answer, but probably this is a 2 flat scale or a 2 sharp scale. And we know our order of sharps and flats goes like this. Flats are bead, like that, right? So my first 2 flats that I'd always use would be B flat and E flat. And that would be a D flat and a G flat, and that does not match, right? So it's probably not a flat scale. However, my order of sharps is fried chickens, good, right? F, C, and G, and my first 2 sharps would be F sharp and C sharp, and I have an F sharp and a C sharp. This is a sharp scale with 2 sharps, and that would be a D major scale, right? Now, it's possible I also might make you, write this out on a page and then take a picture and say the first note's this one, the next note's that one, and so on. Let's do that real quickly, maybe. Yeah. I'll do it right here. So the first note is B, and it's the high B. And the next one's an A right there, and it's there. The next one's a G, and the next one's a D, and down there is an E. And here is my C sharp. So I have to do that and put a sharp right there. Yeah. And there's my F sharp, so I put a sharp before like that. And I could put stems on it, I guess, if I want. But you can transcribe what you play or see. Okay? All right.